I was a huge He-Man fan in the 80s. I absolutely loved the property. Um, and for me, it was like almost like a coming of age character. It was a character who embodied masculinity, and it was an avatar for young boys to go, this is what I want to grow up to be. I need to be strong, I need to be powerful. He contained all the characteristics that were so important to boys in the 80s. The 80s was a very different time, and masculinity was very different back then. He-Man was a blueprint for how young boys should grow up to be, taken to the extreme, obviously. Phrases like big boys don't cry, phrases like toughen up were ubiquitous. I remember at primary school, the boys were expected to stack the chairs at the end of the school day, whilst the girls sat on the carpet ready to be read to. And nobody complained, oh, that's sexist. That was boys' jobs were. Boys' jobs was being strong. Like I say, the 80s was a very, very different time back then. And despite my love of He-Man, I didn't grow out of He-Man. I felt pushed away from He-Man. My sister got a She-Ra doll, and I remember her going to me, She-Ra's better than He-Man. I can prove it. She's taller, and yeah, She-Ra was about the size of a Barbie doll. And so I was like, how can He-Man be smaller if he's the strongest? So that there was that disconnect there for me. And the second thing that killed it for me is in the 80s there was no streaming service. No, I didn't have a video with which to watch it repeatedly, and there were in the UK there were only 3 channels, so I had one opportunity to watch He-Man once a week. I think in the summer holidays it was on 5 days a week, but normally it was on just on Saturday morning. And at some point it changed from being He-Man to She-Ra episodes, even though He-Man was often in those episodes of She-Ra. It was called She-Ra, and I was watching it on time, and my sister had absolutely no interest in watching She-Ra with me. But I was watching it, and my mum came in, saw that I was watching She-Ra, and went, oh, you're watching a girl's cartoon. And she probably didn't mean it to land that way, but it affected me, and I didn't want to be seen as being girly. Back then, in the 80s, being a boy, appearing girly or non-masculine was a massive faux pas. Back then, when I didn't even realise what faux pas meant, I felt I was doing something wrong by watching She-Ra, so I decided to stop. And by stopping watching the cartoons, by no longer valuing the toy line, it was He-Man was diminished in my eyes, and I moved away onto other toy lines. That is why He-Man died for me in the 80s. But I'm glad to see he's having a resurgence now